Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Africa, today we gather on this sacred ground, not merely to open a stadium, but to ignite a beacon of hope, a fortress of dignity, and a symbol of our unbreakable unity. This is no ordinary structure. It is a monument to our resilience, a testament to the battles fought and the dreams yet to be realized. Each stone, each beam, each echo that will fill this arena is charged with the spirit of our ancestors who refused to bow, who refused to be silenced. This stadium is where the pulse of a rising Africa will beat loud and proud, declaring to the world that we are no longer the shadowed and silenced. We are the light, the force, the architects of our destiny. For centuries, Africa's lands and peoples have suffered under the yoke of colonialism. Our wealth was ripped from our soil, our cultures demeaned, our voices stifled by foreign powers who sought to rewrite our story as one of inferiority and submission. But that story was never true, and it ends here and now. We stand today on the shoulders of giants, the warriors, the poets, the freedom fighters who gave their lives so that we might see this day. From the deserts of the Sahara to the lush jungles of the Congo, from the tip of the Cape to the sands of the Sahel, the struggle for liberation was fierce and relentless. The chains of slavery, the brutality of colonial conquest, and the deep scars left behind have tried to bind us, but our spirit has never been broken. Our ancestors' cries for freedom still echo in our hearts, demanding that we rise, that we fight, that we build. This stadium is a physical declaration that Africa's dawn has come. It is a fortress against the lingering shadows of imperialism, and a stage on which our unity will be forged and celebrated. No longer will foreign powers dictate our fate from distant capitals. No longer will the blood and sweat of our people enrich others while our children go hungry. This land, this continent, this people belong to us, and today we take full possession of our future. Each cheer that will resonate here is a battle cry for justice, each victory a triumph over centuries of oppression. But we must be clear-eyed about the nature of the struggle before us. The chains of old colonialism may have been broken, but new chains have taken their place. Neocolonialism creeps in with the masks of aid, investment, and development, but beneath these veils lies a system designed to keep us dependent, divided, and weak. Debt traps, unfair trade agreements, foreign control over our minerals and resources, and puppet regimes are the new instruments of control. They seek to maintain the old order by different means, to continue exploiting our wealth while keeping our people in poverty. We must recognize this enemy as clearly as the one who came before with guns and chains. We must be vigilant, united, and militant against these invisible shackles that threaten our sovereignty. True freedom will come only through African unity. This stadium stands as a powerful symbol of what we can achieve when we come together as one people. Across 54 nations and hundreds of cultures, we share not only history and blood, but a destiny that is intertwined. The artificial borders carved out by colonial powers have tried to divide us, but today we declare that those walls are nothing compared to the bonds that connect us. Political unity, economic integration, cultural revival, these are not mere ideals, but the pillars on which the future of Africa must be built. Imagine a continent where our armies protect our people, where our industries thrive, where our scientists innovate, and where our artists inspire pride in every corner of the globe. This vision is within reach, but only if we unite with unwavering resolve. To the youth of Africa, who fill this stadium and every village and city across the continent, know that you are the heartbeat of this new era. Your energy, your passion, and your creativity are the fuel that will drive our renaissance. The old powers fear you because you will not accept subjugation or silence. You are the vanguard of a continent reborn, connected by technology, driven by purpose, and unafraid to challenge the status quo. Do not be swayed by empty promises or illusions of partnership that serve only those who seek to exploit. Take your future into your own hands with courage and conviction. Organize, educate, and mobilize. Your voices will fill this stadium and the world with the roar of African freedom. The journey ahead will not be easy. It demands sacrifice, resilience, and a relentless spirit. We must build institutions that reflect our values and serve our people, schools where our children learn their true history, hospitals where they receive care, factories that create jobs, and farms that feed nations. We must resist all forms of oppression, foreign and domestic, and root out corruption that weakens our progress. Our unity is our strength, and division is our greatest enemy. Together, we will overcome. As we stand here today, let us bow our heads in honor and remembrance of those who gave their lives for this moment. The freedom fighters who faced bullets and torture, the leaders who dared to dream of a united Africa, and the countless unnamed heroes who resisted daily indignities. Their sacrifices are the foundation of our liberation. We owe them not just remembrance, but action. We must carry their legacy forward with unwavering dedication. Look forward with me, not just at this stadium, but at the future it symbolizes. Picture schools brimming with eager minds, hospitals staffed with dedicated healers, farms that nourish our people, industries that produce for Africa's needs, and governments that truly serve their citizens. Envision a continent where our languages, traditions, and cultures are celebrated and passed on proudly. Let this place inspire all who enter to dream boldly and work tirelessly to turn those dreams into reality. Africa's moment has come. We stand at the dawn of a new era defined by self-determination, dignity, and unity. This stadium is more than a structure. It is the birthplace of a continent reborn. Let every cheer, every heartbeat within these walls remind the world that Africa is awake, Africa is strong, and Africa is free. Let us march forward together, unshaken in our resolve, unbowed in our spirit, and united in our destiny. Thank you, and may the spirit of Pan-Africanism guide us now and forever. This moment marks more than the inauguration of a stadium. It represents the enduring unity and resilience of Africa's people. Across this vast continent, countless attempts have been made to divide and conquer, borders drawn without regard to culture or history, communities pitted against one another, and identities fragmented by foreign powers. Yet the spirit of unity has persisted, deeply rooted in the shared experiences and aspirations of millions. The power of unity lies in the recognition that strength is multiplied when people stand together. Africa's diversity, its languages, traditions, and histories, is not a weakness, but a source of incredible richness. These differences enrich the collective identity and provide countless perspectives that, when combined, form an unshakable foundation for progress. This stadium is a symbol of that foundation. It is a physical reminder that when united, Africa can achieve greatness far beyond the sum of its parts. Resilience defines this continent's story. Despite centuries of exploitation, oppression, and attempts to erase African identity, culture has thrived. Resilience is seen in the music that carries ancestral rhythms, in the languages that continue to be spoken, in the art that tells stories of survival and hope. This resilience is not passive endurance. It is a force that propels communities forward, transforming pain into power and struggle into strength. The endurance demonstrated throughout history is proof that no external force can break the spirit of Africa's people. Challenges, whether historical or contemporary, have been met with courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to freedom and dignity. This resilience has laid the groundwork for the ongoing movement towards self-determination and unity. Today, unity and resilience go hand in hand. The stadium stands as a gathering place where these qualities will be celebrated, nurtured, and projected onto the world stage. Sporting events held here will be more than games. They will be celebrations of culture, cooperation, and shared purpose. Each cheer and each triumph will echo the power that comes from collective will. Yet unity demands continuous effort. It requires bridging divides, fostering collaboration, and building structures that reflect the shared interests of the continent's people. Economic independence, political sovereignty, and cultural pride depend on deepening this unity. Africa's future depends on rejecting division and embracing solidarity. Young people play a critical role in this journey. Their energy and vision are the driving forces that can shape a new era, one where borders serve to connect rather than separate, where diversity fuels innovation rather than conflict, and where resilience translates into progress. By standing together, they can transform Africa's potential into reality. This stadium, therefore, is more than bricks and mortar. It is a monument to a continent that has endured, that remains united despite adversity, and that continues to rise. It represents the shared commitment to build an Africa defined not by its challenges, but by its strengths. Celebrating unity and resilience is to celebrate Africa's past, present, and future. It is a reminder that together, there is no limit to what can be achieved. This is the spirit that will guide the continent forward, strong, proud, and unstoppable. The story of Africa is a story marked by both profound suffering and extraordinary strength. It is a history written in the blood, sweat, and tears of countless generations who faced unimaginable hardship and yet refused to surrender their dignity or their hope. To understand who we are today, it is essential to remember the struggles that shaped this continent, struggles that tested the very soul of our people and forged the unbreakable spirit that endures. For centuries, Africa was subjected to the brutal realities of slavery. Millions were torn from their homes, ripped from their families, and sold into bondage in distant lands. This forced migration was not just a theft of bodies, it was an attempt to steal identity, culture, and future. The legacy of slavery is deeply woven into the fabric of global history, and its shadows still reach across generations. Yet, even in the darkest hours, resistance never ceased. Stories of rebellion, escape, and survival remind us that the human spirit, even under the harshest oppression, cannot be extinguished. Colonialism followed slavery as a new form of domination, cloaked in the language of civilizing missions and development. Vast territories were carved up by foreign powers with no regard for the peoples who lived there. Entire economies were restructured to serve distant empires, natural resources plundered, and traditional systems dismantled. Indigenous cultures were suppressed, languages forbidden, and histories rewritten to justify the conquest. The scars of colonial rule run deep, disrupting societies, igniting conflicts, and leaving a legacy of underdevelopment that still challenges the continent. Despite these overwhelming forces, Africa's peoples fought back. Across the continent, movements of resistance emerged, sometimes peaceful, sometimes armed, but always rooted in a fierce desire for freedom. Leaders rose who dared to dream of an independent Africa, united and sovereign. These heroes, many names celebrated, many forgotten, sacrificed everything to break the chains of colonialism. Their courage became a beacon for future generations, a reminder that liberation was possible and worth every sacrifice. But the struggles did not end with political independence. The neocolonial era introduced new challenges. The remnants of colonial power persisted through economic control, political interference, and exploitation of resources. The fight for genuine sovereignty and self-determination continues as Africa confronts debt, unfair trade, and foreign influence. These are new battles that demand the same resilience and unity shown by those who fought before. Acknowledging this history is not about dwelling on pain, but about honoring the strength and resilience that grew from it. It is a call to remember that the freedoms enjoyed today are hard-won and fragile. It reminds us that progress requires vigilance, courage, and collective action. Each brick of this stadium is a tribute to those who struggled, those who endured, and those who dreamed of a free and united Africa. Understanding the past empowers the present and shapes the future. It teaches valuable lessons about resistance, sacrifice, and hope. This acknowledgement fuels the determination to build an Africa that no longer bears the scars of exploitation, but stands tall on the foundation of dignity, justice, and unity. This history is not a burden but a source of pride and strength, a powerful narrative that binds the continent together. It is the legacy that guides the journey ahead, inspiring a new generation to continue the fight for true freedom, prosperity, and unity. The end of colonial rule did not bring true freedom for Africa. Instead, it marked the beginning of a new era, one defined not by open conquest, but by subtler forms of control that continue to threaten the sovereignty and dignity of the continent. Neocolonialism is the new face of exploitation, a system designed to keep Africa dependent, divided, and under the influence of foreign powers, disguised as partners and investors. While the flags of colonial empires were lowered, the chains of economic domination tightened. Debt, unequal trade agreements, multinational corporations extracting resources, and foreign governments manipulating political systems, all these modern tools serve the same old purpose: to maintain control over Africa's wealth and future. This form of domination is often masked behind the language of aid, development, and partnership, but it is no less harmful or insidious. African resources remain a treasure coveted by foreign interests. Minerals, oil, timber, and agricultural products are extracted in vast quantities, yet the profits rarely benefit the people whose lands are being stripped bare. Instead, wealth flows out of the continent, enriching distant corporations and governments, while leaving local communities impoverished and marginalized. This economic drain is a modern-day plunder, one that perpetuates poverty and underdevelopment. The burden of debt serves as a powerful tool to enforce compliance. Loans with high interest rates and unfair conditions trap countries in cycles of repayment that cripple their economies. Debt servicing consumes resources that could otherwise be invested in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and industry. These financial chains keep African nations beholden to foreign powers, undermining their ability to chart independent paths toward prosperity. Political interference is another weapon of neocolonialism. Foreign powers meddle in domestic affairs, supporting leaders who serve their interests rather than those of their own people. Puppet regimes, corruption, and political instability often follow. This interference prevents genuine self-determination and democracy, eroding trust and hindering progress. Neocolonialism also exploits divisions among African peoples. Ethnic, regional, and political tensions are manipulated to weaken unity and maintain control. This tactic undermines the very foundation of Pan-Africanism, which calls for solidarity and collective strength. Division benefits external forces seeking to maintain dominance over a fragmented continent. Recognizing and confronting neocolonialism is essential for Africa's future. True liberation means breaking free not only from visible chains, but also from invisible systems that sustain inequality and dependence. Economic sovereignty, political independence, and cultural pride must be reclaimed through vigilance, resistance, and unity. African nations must develop policies that prioritize their own people, investing in local industries, strengthening institutions, and forging fair trade partnerships that respect African interests. Regional integration and cooperation are critical to build collective economic power and reduce reliance on external actors. Civil society, youth movements, and all who believe in Africa's future have a role to play in exposing and resisting neocolonial practices. Awareness, activism, and solidarity will weaken the grip of these new forms of control. The path ahead demands courage and determination. The struggle against neocolonialism is a continuation of the fight that freed the continent from colonial rule. It requires unity, vigilance, and a fierce commitment to true independence. Only then can Africa fully realize its potential and stand as a sovereign, prosperous, and respected force in the world. The future of Africa rests firmly in the hands of its youth, the vibrant, energetic, and visionary generation that carries the hopes and dreams of the continent. This generation stands at a crossroads, with the power to either inherit the burdens of the past or to reshape the destiny of Africa in their own image. The youth are the driving force behind progress, innovation, and transformation, and empowering them is the key to unlocking Africa's true potential. Africa's young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the leaders of today. Across cities, towns, and villages, young Africans are rising with creativity, passion, and determination. They are entrepreneurs launching businesses that challenge old economic models, activists demanding justice and accountability, artists reviving and reimagining culture, and innovators harnessing technology to connect and empower communities. Their energy is the lifeblood of Africa's renaissance. Yet, to realize their potential, the youth must be equipped with the tools of empowerment, education, opportunity, and freedom. Education is more than the transfer of knowledge. It is the awakening of critical consciousness, the nurturing of pride in African history and identity, and the cultivation of skills necessary to build a prosperous future. When young people learn about their continent's rich legacy alongside the challenges it faces, they are prepared not only to participate in the world, but to transform it. Economic opportunity is equally vital. Too many young Africans face unemployment, underemployment, or jobs that fail to recognize their talents and ambitions. This situation breeds frustration and stagnation, threatening social stability and progress. Empowering youth means creating environments where entrepreneurship can flourish, where access to capital and markets is possible, and where innovative ideas are supported and celebrated. Economic independence for the youth is not merely personal success, it is the foundation for a thriving continent. Freedom to express ideas, organize, and participate in governance is essential to youth empowerment. Across the continent, young people are increasingly refusing to be silenced or sidelined. They demand a voice in political processes and decision-making that affect their lives and futures. Supporting youth participation in leadership is crucial to ensuring that policies reflect their realities and aspirations. The empowerment of African youth is also a call to reclaim the narrative. For too long, external forces have defined Africa's story, often portraying young people as problems rather than potential. It is time for African youth to tell their own stories, to highlight their achievements, and to inspire one another. This requires platforms that amplify their voices and foster connections across borders and cultures. Regional cooperation and continental initiatives that invest in youth development will strengthen this movement. When young Africans see themselves as part of a larger collective, they gain the confidence and solidarity necessary to confront shared challenges and seize opportunities. Pan-African unity among youth is the seedbed for a future where Africa's full promise can be realized. The path ahead will demand resilience, courage, and commitment from the youth. They face complex challenges, but they also hold unmatched potential. Their empowerment is not a favor, it is a necessity for the survival and flourishing of Africa. This generation will be remembered as the one that refused to accept limitations, the one that broke free from the shadows of the past and forged a new path. Empowered youth will be the architects of an Africa that is free, prosperous, and united, a continent where every young person's dreams can take flight. The vision for Africa's future is clear, a continent that governs itself with full sovereignty, controls its resources, and shapes its destiny without external interference. Self-determination is not a distant dream, it is a fundamental right and an urgent necessity. This vision demands political unity, economic independence, cultural pride, and institutions built to serve the people, not foreign interests. True self-determination begins with political unity. Africa's artificial borders, a legacy of colonialism, have divided peoples and fostered conflict, but the continent's strength lies in its diversity and its capacity to come together as one. Regional integration and continental cooperation must accelerate, creating a political framework that respects differences while uniting around common goals. A united Africa can speak with one voice on the global stage, protect its interests, and resist pressures that seek to undermine its sovereignty. Economic independence is the foundation upon which political self-determination rests. Too long has Africa's wealth been extracted for the benefit of others. Minerals, oil, agriculture, and human capital must serve the continent's development first. Building strong industries, investing in technology and innovation, and fostering fair trade within Africa and with the world will break cycles of dependence. Economic policies must prioritize local communities and entrepreneurs, ensuring that prosperity is shared and sustainable. Cultural pride is the soul of self-determination. Africa's rich heritage, languages, philosophies, and traditions must be embraced as sources of strength and identity. This pride fuels confidence and resilience, inspiring people to reclaim their narratives from external distortion. Education systems must center African history and values, nurturing a generation grounded in its roots and ready to face the future. Institutions must reflect the people they serve. Transparent governance, accountable leadership, and respect for human rights are essential. Africa's institutions should promote justice and equality, dismantling systems that perpetuate corruption and exclusion. Self-determination requires that governments are truly representative and responsive to the needs of their citizens. Youth will play a crucial role in realizing this vision. Empowered, educated, and united, young Africans are the architects of self-determination. Their energy and innovation will drive the transformation of political systems, economies, and societies. It is their generation that will inherit the responsibilities and the opportunities to build a new Africa. This vision also recognizes the need to resist neocolonial influences. True independence means rejecting policies and agreements that compromise sovereignty. Africa must develop its own path, one based on cooperation, mutual respect, and shared prosperity, not dependency and exploitation. The path to self-determination will not be easy. It will require sacrifice, solidarity, and unwavering commitment, but the rewards are immense. An Africa that shapes its own destiny, uplifts its people, commands respect on the global stage. This vision is a call to action, to leaders, communities, and individuals to unite behind a common purpose, to build an Africa that is politically sovereign, economically strong, culturally vibrant, and governed by just institutions. Africa's future is in its own hands. The time to realize this vision is now.